Okay, so I've had a few lessons that focus on shape fitting, and that takes a little more background to show you about the patterns and how they fit together. You can see it on this pattern that when you're going up in fourths here, the pattern's going to go over one every 6 strings. It's going to go over one every 6 strings. But that pattern's brought back by the tuning warp. Okay, so the tuning warp keeps bringing it back over one. So no matter what you're looking at, let's look at let's look at today's diagram because it's a nice diagram. This is like eye candy here. Okay, so let's look at the C here, the C major. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, that's an S2L. Then we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It wants to go over, but the tuning warp brought that 7 back into play there. So that's how that works in that box. Okay, over here now, let's go up a fifth. So the fifth of C is G. Neighbors. Fifths are neighbors, right? Fifths and fourths are neighbors. G goes to fourth of G is C. Fifth of C is G. Now we're looking at, we want to find this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The pattern takes it up again. The pattern takes it over again. So you have to realize that, see this 7 root 5 right there? You're going to see that in this pattern way over here. My goodness. 7 root 5, because this is how the pattern goes. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. This, you play the string this way. These are the strings. Okay? These are the strings. So the strings are here. These are the strings. And these labels, the chart labels are underneath the strings. Okay, so these are the strings here. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to move forward to the topic of today's chart, as opposed to just continuing reinforcing the shape fitting, the shape of the P4 patterns, the 10-string patterns, and the mobility going, fourths and fifths to the right, to the left, and the up and the down, using the string shapes now, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun to just start down here in a C shape and go, okay, skip A and go to G. All right, now if I want to just go to the right, from G, I'm going to go to E. To the right again, E, I'm going to go to D. But say I want to go up now from that, up a fourth from that, or up a fifth actually, so D shapes, fifth of D is A. To the left again, A is going up from A to C shape. Okay, so then we made a little, a little playing area, and if you could just, from memory, just kind of play where you were, you just start in one place and just start branching out there in a major scale. And then it's up to you to know what to do with that major scale. Okay, and you can do it in a different key. Just by starting a whole step lower of what we just did. Sometimes my labels make it a little more difficult, but you could do it. You could start a whole step lower. So the C shape would start here in the key of D, 3, 4, 5, where this would be the fourth would be E, E flat. So it's D, E flat, F would be the 3, 4, 5 in the key of B flat. So sometimes my labels confuse me. I'd rather just play a normal guitar if I'm, that doesn't have any labels on it, or maybe just a few, or I could use the dots to play in different keys. So let's look at today's chart. Now that I'm thoroughly exhausted and kind of aggravated that I got dragged into trying to play a couple of things and I couldn't even play my C minor shaped arpeggio. So what I've done in this chart now, this looks the same as the other charts, but it's not. Okay, we have here the root major here, and I usually with the root major put the Dorian, because Dorian doesn't share any notes with the root major. See? Completely different notes. Alright? So instead of putting it with or next to the Dorian, I didn't put anything. So there's nothing on this top fretboard. These are 2 fretboards here. This is the Aeolian fretboard arpeggios, the 1 Aeolian fretboard arpeggios in yellow, and these are the Aeolian arpeggios, the relative 6th of this Ionian. So this is the Ionian, this is the Aeolian. See, before we didn't have that. We had, I'll show you. Okay, this is what we had before, and that is not today's fretboard is different. We had the root Ionian yellow with the Dorian and the same fretboard, because the purple does not share any notes with the yellow. So, but remember, they're just triads. They're not, of course, Ionian diatonic scale shares a lot of notes with Dorian. Okay, practically all of them, right? Practically all of them. So there isn't really any note that Dorian doesn't share with Ionian. So it's the same exact scale, just shifted up 1. They're all the same notes. Okay, but in triads, they don't share any notes. So that's what this is the usual diagram that I was using before. Okay, these are just modal circles instead of them rolled out and shown as banners. They're circles that go around. Okay, so let's not get back into the modals. And then we have the Phrygian and the Lydian don't share any, even though they're a half step apart, 3, 4, 5 there, okay. The Lydian 4, 6 root arpeggios, okay, starting from, say, this 4, 4, 6 root, 4, 6 root. Okay, so this is this is a very valuable diagram here. And then the Mixolydian and the Aeolian were shown together because they don't share any. Here's the Phrygian, and here's the Dorian there. Okay, so now today's diagram, okay, with today's diagram, I have them arranged differently, and it took a little doing. Believe me, it took a little doing. My wife kind of gave me a what for not cleaning up some clippings I made. Had to clip some bushes down so we had more visibility around the driveway. So now what it is we don't have 3 double fretboards. I've separated them out completely, where we have 6 single fretboards, and now instead of the Dorian being next to the Ionian, because it doesn't have to be anymore, we have the 6. So we have the Ionian and its relative 6, the Aeolian 6 root 3, okay. Then we have, taking a year and a half to scroll, is the Lydian, and now remember, the Lydian and its its relative sixth, the Dorian.